Good evening and welcome to the show On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. Now, many people who are aspiring to lead are crisscrossing the country trying to convince Ugandans to give them the mandate to lead. The NRM primaries are done, and we have seen over 120 people pick nomination forms trying to run for the presidency of the Republic of Uganda. In a few months from now, Ugandans will be going for general elections. But the primaries of NRM have also shown us some episodes of violence in different places. In fact, in some cases, people have died, vehicles were burnt, and houses destroyed. What does that tell us about the general elections that we'll be having in January 2026? My guest this evening is the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Robinah Nabbanja.
Good evening, viewers.
Right Honorable Robinah Nabbanja, thank you so much for, first of all, giving us an opportunity for us to have this conversation with you. And we want to begin by congratulating you for having won your primaries in Kakumero.
With a landslide.
With a landslide.
Yes.
So it is almost 5 years now since you were appointed Prime Minister. You have had almost a 5-year run. I would want you to maybe take stock of what this has been like to be Prime Minister for almost 5 years. Have you been able to achieve what you're set out to do?
First of all, dear viewers, allow me to bring you greetings and best wishes from our head of state, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, our president, our parent, a tested leader. He's aware we have this show now, and I want to appreciate him for the work he has done for this country. And it is because of his guidance and advice that I've been able to do what I've been able to do. It is on that note that I request that you repeat your question.
Yes. 5 years as Prime Minister, almost 5 years now. What has it been like? Have you been able to achieve what you were set out to do?
You are aware that as a Prime Minister, I derive my powers from Article 108 of our Constitution that gives me powers to coordinate government business. I am the leader of government business in Parliament. And in Parliament, we have done a lot. A lot. This has been possible because of the cohesion, teamwork we have had as government, headed by the President, like I told you already. You are aware that as government, we have structures. We have the cabinet. The cabinet has powers that helps us to come together, come up with policies of government. So for me, once the policies are now already processed through cabinet, it is my work as leader of government business to come up with the legislative agenda. That legislative agenda is translated into what the president informs the country. You know, the president has an address every year. So it is that legislative agenda where I every Thursday get business for Parliament. Every Thursday. I also present the legislative agenda in the business committee, which is chaired by the Speaker. The members on that committee are the Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister, the leader of government business who is me, the leader of opposition, the whips, the whip of opposition, the whips of other parties who have members in Parliament, and then the chairpersons of committees. You know, we have chairpersons of committees. Then I present that legislative agenda.
Right now, Prime Minister,
you wanted me to know my performance.
Yes, and what is it like? You know, some of us...
I wanted you to know that we have done a lot. By the way, since when government came into power, it is our Parliament under the leadership of the Speaker that has been able to do all this much. Let me read it for you. 1, we have been able to bring and pass 132 bills. It has never happened in the history of Parliament. You go and check, Google. As Prime Minister, I have been able to answer 1,194 questions in Parliament as Prime Minister during the Prime Minister's time. It has never happened. You go and check. 920 responses were provided by ministers, punctuated throughout our sessions.
So,
you know,
okay,
Parliament.
If we look into the bills you're talking about, Honorable Prime Minister, yes, there could be quantity of the bills, but how are they transforming the everyday lives of Ugandans? That includes also the UPDF bill that was passed amid this a lot of bitterness. You can have the bills, right, on a Prime Minister.
I'm being sincere
but
to
what
you.
kind of bills? How are they transforming the people in Kakumiro and in Kenjojo?
It is because of this that you see us. For example, the reason we come up with laws that govern our country is because this country is democratic. It is through these bills that courts of law either make a judgment or they don't. The bills we pass in Parliament are the ones that are used for your democratic processes, the rule of law. Not every bill is not, because we make consultations. Yes, you are aware we consult people, we invite people in Parliament, and then we agree. And the President assents to these bills, and most of them are now acts of Parliament.
Right, Honourable Prime Minister, what you are explaining is actually the mandate that is expected of you. I want to go deeper. At a personal level, you know, some of us had an opportunity to see you from the moment of RDC to Member of Parliament to Minister, to Right Honourable Prime Minister. Your trajectory has been rising ever since you went into politics. What has it been like?
It is true, I have come from far. You have started from RDC, but I was a district councillor. This has helped me to know what to do. That's why when I became Prime Minister, we have done a lot for this country. I can give you an example. I have been able to move across the country to monitor, to do oversight. I have been able to coordinate government business, to coordinate ministries, departments, and agencies, including local governments. And a number of achievements have come up. We have monitored the construction of roads, the construction of health facilities. We have even commissioned some of these under your watch.
When you talk of roads, Right Honourable Prime Minister, you and I use sometimes the same road, the Movende Fort Porto Kenjojo road. It is so pathetic. Even when they put the graders, they work 1 week, the 2 weeks are not there. What is that supposed to mean? Why
you are aware,
has that road that is supposed to be going to Uganda's tourism capital been so much neglected, yet it's a road that takes the Prime Minister, the road that takes the Minister of Finance, the road that every district and every corner of Uganda deserves better.
You are aware that when this term of office was starting, Mitiana Road was not yet constructed. We have been able to construct that road from Mitiana up to Chakatebe. You are aware. The remaining part has been because the contractor we have, Enago, I think has been having challenges of cash flow. But recently, President, wait, let me give people hope.
Yes, but you owe them money. You have not paid them.
No, we paid. You know, they bring in certificates of completion and then we pay. That's how government does its business. So they brought in the certificate of completion of 39 billion, which was paid in July. this year. Now, they have pushed in another one of 36 billion, which they are going to pay, I believe, tomorrow. Now, the president has directed that we pay them up front so that they can complete that road. And also we give them the other section of Mubende, Chenjojo, Chegegwa, Chenjojo. Now, when we paid them the 39 billion, I think they don't have flow in, they don't have cash, they don't have liquid. So they paid their contractors, they paid for fuel, lubricants, and also aggregates and these other things they use. And they remained with no money. Because they had delayed to pay the other people, when we paid, the other people refused to give them more materials. That's why we have processed another payment of 36 billion, which I'm talking about. I think they will get it tomorrow, and then you will see them back on the road.
Well, the good thing.
But the total amount of money they are supposed to get is 60. That will complete that work, 60 billion up to Mubende, and this is government of Uganda money.
Right, Prime Minister, when you look at the Ishaka-Bushenyi road, actually it is even a bad state than what you say.
You are aware that the president...
Why has Bushenyi road been neglected from Barra?
I have been to Bushenyi myself, I think twice. I was there around January when the president was there. And that road is actually not good. But we are going to use the in-house department of Ministry of Works to after they have completed Jinja. You know, they started with Igayaza Kalagi, and that section now going to Kayunga is complete. They are currently working on Jinja Road to make those repairs. Then they will come to they will be taken to that section of the road.
Are you beginning to maybe feel some challenges now that UNRWA is not in place? Because
no.
At one point, government was putting a lot of money in infrastructure development, especially roads, and we could see some tangible results on the ground. But now we are beginning to see struggles and challenges and wondering why.
UNRWA, after the rationalization of UNRWA,
yes.
Remember, we budgeted, and that last year's budget was under UNRWA. So that transition created some gap. But now UNRWA is a department in the Ministry of Works. Even Uganda Road Fund is a department in the Ministry of Works. Most of the engineers who were working in UNRWA were recruited. And now we had remember we have these centers, the regional centers. The Ministry of Works regional centers. Those days they were called UNRWA centers. We have regionalized, and I think recruitment has now been done. Because remember, some engineers were being paid heavily under UNRWA. Some of them opted to go. You get what I mean? But others who remained, and we recruited other engineers. So the functions of the Ministry of Works are now streamlined.
So would you talk with confidence that as we speak right now, Ugandans are better off in terms of the poverty levels, that their livelihoods, they have money in their pockets? Has really PDM worked?
PDM, by all standards, to me, I think is above 80. The president has been moving across the country. I have also been moving across the country, and you really see people appreciating. They are very appreciative of government's initiative to give them that little support. By the time we started the PDM, the poverty levels, those people who were below the poverty level were 39%. Those who were, working only for the stomach, as I speak now, they are 33. You are aware of that statistic.
You talk of the president moving around the country, the PDM tours, which we all saw. But, Right Honorable Prime Minister, this looked like a presidential campaign with the people he's meeting, putting on NRM, party paraphernalia. Why was that? This can it be separated from NRM party issues to government? Because it, by all means, was a presidential campaign.
That is how you look at it. But to me, people should differentiate between, because the president we have is a people-centered president. And you know, in most areas where the president has been, all those people are NRM. So, like you see other parties, I don't see a crime for people to welcome there. You know, he's the president, he's the chairman of NRM, he's the commander-in-chief. Sometimes you see him, you know, putting on his army attire. To me, I don't think that should really take our time.
But that's okay. But when you find him, settle for the base, and this is campaign. Right on the prime minister, it was campaign before the official campaign, and that's unfair.
No, it was not.
To the other contenders.
Now, why couldn't the president move around the country? He's the one who has an agreement with the people.
Granted.
In terms of the manifesto. He's looking, or he's monitoring to see how his manifesto has been implemented. When people come to welcome him and say, President, we are happy to work with me, because they have achieved. By the way, let me tell you, if I can help you, so that you can see the number of achievements. For example, the number of roads. Yes, we still have some roads which have not yet been worked on, but we have a number of roads under this Kisanja that we have worked on. Let me give you examples. For example, this road from, we have rehabilitated and worked on a number of roads. Let me check here. This road from Mubende to Kakumiro is of this Kisanja. We have Saka Bridge, Kampala flyover. We have Tirinyi.
Mubende to Kakumiro is slated an older road.
No, it's not.
It was built before COVID.
No, we commissioned it when I was a prime minister.
Yeah, but it was started before
COVID. But it was in our, you go and check in our manifesto. We have Chigumba, Bulima, Hoima, Kagadi, up to Chenjojo. That road was completed in this Kisanja. We have Bulima, Hoima, Kaboya. You are aware. We have Chenjojo, that one I've talked about. We have Kaptura Swam. We have Muyembe na Kapiripirit. We have Kampala Northern Bypass.
But could you pause there?
Yes. No,
the Kampala Northern Bypass you're talking about was started before the Chogam of 2007.
But we completed. I am the one. Wait, I am talking about roads. I have commissioned.
Road, a 20-kilometer stretch, and it takes you over 20 years.
I am talking about the roads. I have commissioned. I am the one who commissioned that road. You check in your news when I was the prime minister. Mbale, Buburo, Ruakaka.
Yes, but if we go back, this stretch from Boyogere to Ushaga, right honorable prime minister, started before Chogam. And if you commission this Kisan,
I am the one who commissioned
this. Yes, but it has taken 20 years, more than 20 years to build.
And because construction is
only
continuous.
20 kilometers on the right honorable prime minister.
But remember, we also had to commission these other places. Busega Mpigi Expressway is still under construction, but it was in our Kisanja. It is on Monday this week that the president and under the chair of the president that we got money to work on under ADB. This one is also good, but it has been continuous. You know, sometimes it's lack of money. You have also to know that your country is a developing country. Sometimes we use government money. Now, Masindi Park Junction, that one, remember, it is this Kisanja. Hoima Butiaba Wanseko, this Kisanja. Buhimba Narweyo, Buramaji, Igayaza Kakumiro.
So, what are the people with these roads? What are they transporting?
a lot of produce. Don't you see a change? Atiak Ajuman Umi is this year. I mean, this Kisanja and many others. This Kampala, the Kampala flyover is this Kisanja. Let me tell you, my brother, there is a lot we have done during this term of office. I'm not talking about old roads. Can I talk about these others we are rehabilitating now?
Honorable Prime Minister, when you quote the flyover, which is less than a kilometer of Kampala.
But yes, it is an achievement.
But you see, because we expect bigger things, the NRM government seems to give us something small and celebrate about it, because yet we thought you could do bigger than that. Bigger than that. Because
talk about
are you incapable of doing something bigger than that?
By the way, my brother, you think this is easy? Have you checked in other countries? You are comparing. Yes, comparing us to which country?
Recently in Dar es Salaam. We're not very far. I can see how far they have moved.
This Kisanja, we have started the construction of the standard gauge rail. You are aware the President commissioned it recently.
In 2014, there's a picture of President Yoweri Museveni, President Salva Kiir, President Paul Kagame in Munyonyo launching the construction of SGR. And it is coming almost another 20 years later. That's when you're trying to move. Do you remember?
No.
Such a picture.
I want you to also appreciate
those
that
leaders were embarrassed because the picture went all over, and almost 20 years, there's not even a single slipper that has been laid.
We are moving. Is it bad for us to start after that time?
No, it is not. Right, Honorable Prime Minister.
Because I want you to also appreciate. No, I want you to appreciate that the standard gauge railway is supposed to connect to the one of Kenya.
Yes.
We had to wait for our counterpart, the other side, to bring that railway up to Maraba. But remember, they stopped in which place is that? Somewhere I'm forgetting in Kenya. So recently, the president was with his counterpart in Kenya, and they agreed that from I'm forgetting the place is from Kenya, from that place up to.
It's understandable that Kenya has to bring the railway line up the Ugandan border.
So we have no control over Kenya, the speed at which they work on their railway. This other side of Tanzania, their railway is also coming up to Mwanza. And from there we shall connect. So of what importance would it be when we had no connection? There are 3 or 4 attributes or principles we must follow in order for us to develop this country. 1, interconnectivity. Very good roads. The railway is the cheapest means of transport and water. Recently, I was in Awaza, Turkmenistan, and we were talking about landlocked countries. If we are not a landlocked country, we would have done what Kenya has already done. We would have done what Tanzania has done. But we are waiting for our brothers to bring the railway so we can connect. And that's why even our neighboring countries have not connected. They are waiting for us to connect to their borders, so that now Rwanda can also connect, so that DRC can connect, so that South Sudan can also connect. Are you now convinced that though we have delayed, but we are still steady and we are moving?
We are watching the space.
Yes.
President Prime Minister, something that really excited Ugandans was the prices of coffee. And, well, for those who are farmers, coffee farmers, have had their money. But that was because, I suppose, the market was there, because Brazil and Vietnam were having their issues that used to pump a lot of coffee on the global market.
I'm happy you are answering it yourself.
Yes. Yeah. But now the prices are beginning to go low. Why? Because Brazil is back, Vietnam is back. Doesn't that concern you?
It does.
Did you prepare the people to know that the coffee prices we have, good as they may be, it's a bit artificial because Brazil was away. And when they come back, the coffee prices will go down, even though most of us are now going to coffee.
That's why when we were in Awaza, we all agreed. And that's why the president has been all the time guiding and almost facilitating so that we can add value to our coffee. The answer to all this is value addition, agro-industrialization. If we add value and we take a finished product, let me give you an example. I was in Italy sometime back in 2024. I had an opportunity to meet the Prime Minister of Italy, and I told her our concerns as a country. I told her a kilogram of coffee in Uganda, coffee bean, costs around $3. $3. But and to get a finished product, you need 1.5 kilograms. You get what I mean? And a finished kilogram, value added kilogram of coffee is around $35. Almost 40. It fluctuates between 35 to 40. Of course, by the time it goes to, they have taken our jobs. They take our jobs. All the products are taken in raw form. So the president has come up with a policy that we add value to our coffee. That's why we have the other. Do you remember the factory in Tungamo?
Yes.
We are attracting other investors. The president of Turkmenistan agreed with me when I explained after my presentation, which was prepared by the president, and said he wants to come here. They buy coffee for them. By the time it goes to Turkmenistan, it's almost that times 2 the cost of Italy.
But the issue, right, Honorable
so they want to come here.
Right, Honorable Prime Minister, the issue of value addition is not new, and it makes a lot of sense. And the president has been very consistent on value addition for the last maybe 20 years. The problem is, yes, you talk about, you can show us the right way, but we never seem to move. Because I can remember, even when I was still in school, the president is talking about value addition, but walking the talk has been a problem for Uganda.
You are aware that we have started supporting some of our local investors to do the same. You are aware that in order for our economy to move, we are also now starting to produce medicine in the country, biopharma. We are also producing many other things. The Ministry of Agriculture under NARO has also started producing other insecticides and anti-tick vaccines. We are also producing some vaccines here. And the government is supporting those companies. There's
no doubt, right, Honorable Prime Minister, that there has been a movement from one place to another in the last 40 years. Definitely we have to move. Are you
aware we are also producing cars?
Definitely we have to move. But the question is where we ought to be.
Are you aware,
is this where we ought to be?
Are you aware we are producing buses in this country? Are you aware? Kira Motors.
At what cost?
The cost is not I cannot talk about the cost now.
Yeah, because it's not cost effective, and if anything,
no,
right, on the Prime
because
Minister,
let me tell you, the other time we had the orders from our neighboring countries. What the other thing I want to talk about is that yes, the challenge we have is because we are a landlocked country, but we are now connecting to our neighbors to take advantage of the East African community, to take advantage of the COMESA market, to take advantage of the free trade area of Africa. Because Africa has 1.5 billion people, and this is a market. We have agreed as landlocked countries to now make sure that we interconnect as a matter of urgency. After interconnection, so that you can take your produce from Kampala to Mombasa through a railway. From here, are you aware that the people of DRC buy milk from Denmark? And that the milk of Denmark is cheaper than ours here. And so the president is trying to connect. That's why you are seeing us construct roads that connect to DRC.
We know the Africa Free Continental Trade Area that was signed in Kigali, and most African countries have ratified it. But, Honorable Prime Minister, because of logistical challenges, some countries cannot even trade them with themselves. Eastern Congo may not be able to trade with Southern Congo or Northern Congo.
I know.
Just one country. So you may say, yes, we have all this trade area, free trade area for the continent, but you have logistical challenges to move your goods.
That's why the president recently directed that we have the cargo planes. That's why you are seeing the Uganda airline expanding. And we have provided some funding so that we can expand. Where we cannot, because I believe the milk from Denmark is brought by cargo air. True or false?
So you really think that if you use the cargo planes to take goods, agricultural goods, they will be able to compete on a global scale with other products from other countries? Some of them have come on the sea.
That's why the other day I saw the president directing me, together with the Minister of Works, that we use Uganda Airlines to take our milk to Nigeria. You are aware?
Algeria.
Algeria, yes. And in Nigeria.
Okay.
You are aware that that is another area where we are getting some dollars for the country. So with time, what I want Ugandans to know that at least we who are in government are aware of the needs of this country. We know what we need to do. That's a very big achievement. Instead of meandering with other leaders who will come to learn again and you go to square one.
I come from a tea growing region, and the tea growers, Right Honorable Prime Minister, in Bushenyi, in the Toro region, in Kanungu, have been crying because the prices are so low that they are not even able to sometimes pay their workers. In some cases, they are uprooting the trees, the tea trees. I wonder what you have for them.
We have a company that is coming from Dubai that is going to open up factories. I think you are aware of that. Two, our auction market
in
Mombasa has got a number of challenges. Ugandan tea has got issues of quality. And so we all agreed that we need to now sensitize our farmers. One, to add fertilizers to our tea, because the quality is not competitive. They only use our tea to blend the tea that comes from other countries. The tea price is not down. It is our quality of tea. Two,
if the quality of tea is down, then that's incumbent upon a sitting government
that is why
to work on the quality.
That is why
you preside over farmers who are producing quality tea?
Allow me to explain. Now, identifying that issue is also is an achievement. Now, two, we have identified a factory that is currently producing fertilizers, which we shall give to your farmers on credit, so that we now start adding our fertilizers to to the T. 3, we are starting to organize our own auction market here in country. We are also coordinating with other countries such as Dubai, Saudi Arabia, so that we can take advantage of those other markets. And I believe our tea will come back again.
You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. My guest tonight is the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Robinah Nabbanja. We're going to take a break, and On the Spot, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. My guest tonight is the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Robinah Nabbanja. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want to go back to the NRM primaries because they are crucial. This is an election season, and we all know in the Ugandan precedent is every time we have elections, unfortunately people die. And we actually even saw people dying in the primaries. At least somebody was killed in Sembabule. Vehicles were burnt in Isinjiro and Mubende. Is NRM government or NRM party incapable of organizing free and fair elections that do not have to have blood?
That's a tough one. The fact is, the NRM party is a popular party. We attract so many contestants. It's a mass party. And for us as NRM, we are democratic. You don't pick a flag from an office. People close themselves in an office and they give you a flag. You have to compete.
If you mean NUP, it's because you made it very difficult for NUP, whether who are your neighbors here, to be able to move and do their job like you.
For them,
you made it hard for NUP to be able to do what you are able to do.
Allow me to put my point.
Okay.
For NUP, I have not talked about even NUP. Remember, even other parties were just hand-picking. For us, we have so many. Let me give myself as an example. 3 other contestants. We contested 4 women. That shows you that NRM is popular. We are so many contestants. And yet the positions are few.
That's okay.
And secondly, let me make my point, brother. Because of that, and they know once you get the NRM flag, you are done. It's a direct. It means you are done. That's why.
In some places.
No, by the way, when you get an NRM flag like me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I am done.
That's why I'm saying in some places.
Most places.
It may not mean much in
that's why we have so many members of parliament compared to other parties.
A gentleman, a friend of mine like Sing Katongole, who has an NRM flag here, he may not sing Kumbaya that he has it because it's not yet done.
For him, he will struggle. But let me tell you, my brother, for us in our areas, the moment you have the flag, you are done.
That's okay.
But
must it come with violence?
Let me put my point. It is because of that people get excited. When they get the flag, they know it is a direct win. So some people, because of their behavior, we get so many people, they have gone from different places. I don't know where you grew from, but I grew from Kamusenini. So they come with their behaviors. Some are not disciplined as you think. So because NRM is like a collection center, all those people come, including those who are in discipline. But the fact is, when you get an NRM flag, it is a sure deal, you are going to win. People tend to, they look at it as a die or do.
As when you talk about violence and for example in Kamsen there was a very bad image that depicted you, Right Honorable Prime Minister, where there was a gentleman who was so emotionally charged
that he
was charging at our Prime Minister. And at that moment, I was not looking at you as a candidate. I'm like, this is the right honorable Prime Minister of a country.
Let me tell you what happened. Because sometimes in media, you blow things out of proportion. So, we were in a tally center. One lady called me from one of the villages, and that village I remember is Kaungera. They were announcing our results, and these were being announced live on our local radio stations. So the lady calls, and my bodyguard brings the phone. The lady is saying she wants to talk to you. Then Madam, they are reading, those results they are reading are inflated. For you, you got 211 votes. But they have said you got 905.
In your petition, you as
yes,
for you?
Me.
Okay.
I'm talking about myself.
They're inflating for you?
They were inflating so that they can steal for Honorable Tumwesige. They wanted to balance using my... Now, what I did is to ask my tally people. We were tallying. I had a small tally center on the same tallying center where my people were seated with my computers. I said, let's check and see. How did we perform in this village the woman is talking about? They were reading our results. And that sub-county is called Kisengwe. So I said, it is true. Do you have the declaration form? They said, yes, it's here. But why are they giving us more marks? I went to the...
This is an internal NRM.
Yes, internal. That is ours.
These tactics are...
Internal. Because it's not secret. Now, I took my declaration forms to... They had continued to read. I said, please stop. I want to see, why are you reading the results that I don't have? They said, no, these have been brought by the registrar of the sub-county. I said, no, my results are here. I had already, let me tell you, for me what I do, I make sure that I have my declaration forms. Now, the registrar said, yes, you are right, these are original. I said, please don't put those results on my tally sheet. For me, this is what my agents have brought. The challenge was that it seems even in other places they had done the same. So I saw Honorable Twinamasko Onesimus jumping on me. I was not talking about his electoral area, I was talking about Bugangai's South. So I saw him being taken down by my bodyguards. And I started now, trying to cool down. Please don't kill him, don't kill him. To find out why he was jumping on me. Why was he jumping on me? In fact, he did it. He did not, okay. He attempted.
But you see...
The other picture they are showing people of a bruised...
No,
that was of 2013. Remember 2013?
Yes.
When I was fighting for our people, the prices of our coffee beans had gone down because of the roadblocks that were on the road. So Dr. Kasirivu and these other people who were, collecting the money, the former LC5, they ganged up against me.
I remember seeing you. I remember watching you. I remember even feeling the anger in your voice in 2013. And in fact, I've always said,
so the picture they have
the right honorable Nabbanja of 2013, if he met the one of 2025, they would have another conflict. They would box each other.
Why?
Because you were very different then. And you are very passionate about these issues. And you are very critical of your own government today.
I wanted the services for my people.
Yes.
Which services we have got? We did not have piped water then. We had not seen a road. Remember, it was not easy for us to get even machines to work on our roads. I remember the roads we used to have then, but they are all now tarmac.
But you see...
So why should Nabbanja of today be violent when she's moving on tarmac roads? Yes, others are still there, and we should. By the way, we wanted the district of Kakomero, remember? And we got the district. Many things have been achieved.
So in your trade, sometimes violence worked?
No, I was not violent. I don't remember beating anybody.
For sure you are not. But I could see the power, the gusto, the passion, and the anger that you had in expressing yourself, and the anger that you projected the NRM government for not
By the way, I'm still the Nabbanja of 2013. You saw me when I was visiting the roads of Kampala. Do you remember? Recently. And you see the achievements we have got. I discovered in Kampala in 2024 that they were contracting people to design our roads on monthly basis. And so the designs of 2019, 2020 were still in their computers because they were being paid monthly. Until when we discovered, they said, why are you doing all this?
Okay, I'm going to come to...
I'm still the same Nabbanja, yes, by the way, when it comes to service delivery.
I still want to slightly...
and you see the changes. You see the changes now in Kampala?
I have seen your colleagues on Regional Prime Minister running for positions of leadership in the Central Executive Committee. At the highest level, the words they're exchanging are so bad. And I'm wondering, why are the leaders who are supposed to be exemplary, tearing each other, washing their dirty linen in public? Must it be like that? You know them.
Does that question come to me?
No, because you are the top leadership of SEC, and this is what has been exhibited by the topmost leaders of the party.
I wish you would ask me, why didn't you stand? Because everybody is independent. I believe you are talking about my first deputy prime minister vis-a-vis the speaker.
Yes.
Is that what you are trying to do?
Yes, I am.
But those are human beings and they are big people. You should take trouble and ask them, not me. Because for me...
But do you realize, as a senior member of the party, that your party's image is taking a beating because those two individuals have maligned themselves so bad? And when we look at them and say, can anything good come from this? If these people at the highest level, these are the choice of words they have decided to use against each other.
Which choice? I have not heard maybe.
I cannot repeat them, but you know them, Prime Minister, because
no, I have
it won't make sense for me to repeat the words.
Because now, how do I comment on such when I have not heard? But for me, let me tell you, the fact is, I want you to appreciate that I'm a busy person. And I decided to concentrate on the work my boss gave me, or the chance the boss gave me to serve my country. I rarely go on Twitter. I rarely go on WhatsApp. I rarely, by the way, don't know what you are talking about. What I saw the other day, I saw the Honorable Kadaga was on TV. The Honorable Anita, they are competing. The reason why people compete for positions in NRM, because we are democratic. For us, they cannot go in behind the chair there and they give you a flag. It is impossible. For us, we are democratic and we are happy. It's a big achievement that a Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda is competing with people. You see how many people have picked forms to be presidents.
Over 120.
120. What does that show you? We are democratic. And that is one of the principles, the core principles of NRM. So we have achieved. To me, when I see people
I don't know whether you really, with all respect, the 120 have picked the nomination. Some of them with just comedy. Some of them are just having got it. Some of them will
bring back comedy the nomination will come.
Forms. But, you know, if you make the presidency look like anybody can go at it, I don't think it's a depiction of democracy, right?
The law is clear. That's why a singer like Bobby Wine came up because of our democracy. He came up. Did you know that a singer who is this hair, what, you know how he used to look like? But because of democracy. In Uganda bagamba eyekimemete. Because of democracy. He also came up. And by the way, he has some members of parliament, though they are few. I doubt whether he will have more.
If that was real democracy, then the Honorable Kyagulanyi would be allowed or left to do his democratic right to go and open a branch somewhere.
But what's wrong with you, my brother?
In fact,
no, let me ask you one question. In Kampala here, NUP and these other political parties have put their posters everywhere. Everywhere.
Every time we are news people, we follow them. Every time they have tried to move out of Kampala, they have been stopped.
No.
Many of their supporters have been
arrested. Remember seeing in 2023, I remember seeing Kyagulanyi in Luweero. I remember seeing Kyagulanyi in Luweero. I remember seeing Kyagulanyi in Fort Portal in your area. Was he stopped? No. Sometimes they want to use it, you know, to play like they are being suppressed. No. If they are being suppressed, let them leave. I saw them in Busia. Who stopped them from going to Busia? I saw them in Mubende recently. Please.
So if we can witness that level of violence in the internal process of NRM, isn't that pointing to even greater violence in a general election?
But you saw even ministers saying, let us wait for the other one, which means there is a lot of confidence in our independent National Electoral Commission. Even the ministers, did you see them? How many are they? They are like 3 ministers at the level of ministers. Let me wait for the other one. Which means there is a lot of confidence. Secondly, you have also to know that NRM party is young. True or false? And we are every time improving. We shall improve. Because remember, in 2021, we had over 900 petitions. This time round, we have had 300 plus. A fewer than what we had the other time. Yes, there were issues because, like I told you, some people are truly indisciplined. They're indisciplined. And this cannot come to NRM. The way we make, the way we parent, the way our children grow. Yes.
I saw
it's not only for NRM.
I saw people who were being paid money to cross the lines, like on camera.
Which part of that?
In the primaries.
Which part of that
in the country was it? The Prime Minister. Money is being given people to cross the line. But also,
I didn't see that.
There's also where one senior member said, tomorrow, converge at the playground. I'm going to buy waragi at the global scale. I mean...
No, let me tell you, that those are some of the peculiar, a few incidents. But all in all, our NRM primaries were above 80%. I believe 80%. And to me, 80% is a distinction. Because you realize that it is because of the same that the president had to put up a tribunal. Which tribunal has nullified? Haven't you heard about this? Which tribunal has nullified some members who had been declared winners?
If I may change gears a little bit, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Uganda is known to be a very enterprising country.
Oh, yes.
People start businesses. They are always trying. In fact, now there's a new word called the...
By the way, Uganda is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. We are number 7.
But
on global scale.
But here's the issue. Somebody starts an enterprise, it dies without even celebrating its first anniversary, sometimes because of taxes and other challenges. What is government going to do to nurture the entrepreneurial spirit of Ugandans so that they are able to grow their businesses and to keep growing? Because yes, they have that ingenuity to start a business. The enterprise, but they fall
the fact
after some
is,
time.
like I told you, you interjected before I put my points clearly. in order for any economy to develop, you need the following. One, cheap money. Cheap money, concessional funding or concessional financing. Our commercial banks here are very expensive. So some of our people, because you cannot do anything with an interest rate of over 20%. Most of our banks charge between 19 to 20%, 23, even some others go 25. So even if, I don't know which type of business can make you have a profit and also have interest and also pay the premium. And so we have all agreed as developing economies that we need to attract cheap money for our business people. That's why Uganda has got UDC, Uganda Development Bank, UDB. We also have UDC, Uganda Development Bank. However, what I have seen, because Uganda Development Bank gives these people money at 12%, which is also still higher than other economies across the globe. So for somebody to grow business, you need a lot of discipline. Some of our people are not financially disciplined. Yesterday, I chaired a meeting where some of our investors were requesting the president to help them so that the government can pay or help them to restructure their loans. So in commercial banking or commercial banks, don't have that one. Government has come up with so many initiatives to help our business people. Remember the Women Entrepreneurship Program for the women? That one was 0.6, it was at 6%. The PDM is at 6%. Grow is also at around, is it 6? Then we have many others. The Youth Livelihood Program. And all this money, if you count the amount of money we have injected in the people of Uganda, is quite a lot. However, our people still have a problem of financial discipline. You are right to say that maybe we need some skilling or training, special training geared towards helping our people to know how to do business.
But you see, if even the government itself, right, Honorable Prime Minister, there's some financial indiscipline in how you spend the money. But also, if you are borrowing internally from the commercial banks, you're making it very hard for the likes of us and other ordinary Ugandans also to come and borrow. And no wonder the interest rates will go higher, because we are competing with the government to borrow from internal commercial banks.
That's why these days we agreed that we shall be using concessional financing. I think you have not been seeing us bring a lot of loans to be approved. Yes, we still go the commercial way, that commercial window, in case there comes maybe like disasters, like what. But by and by, the president has guided that we only go for concessional. Long term.
Economists think that...
Because now, for example, the loan we approved yesterday, but one, in cabinet, is at 1.2%. And we shall be paying that loan for 35 years. That's concessional.
But we already have a huge debt burden, because...
Of course we do.
I understand for every Ugandan, if we are to pay that money, every Ugandan would need to pay about 3 million shillings.
No, that is a lie. That's a lie. Because we are yet to reach our ceiling. We are yet to reach our ceiling.
This is what happens sometimes.
Because we continue to pay the loans and some go off.
This is what sometimes we see, right, Honorable Prime Minister. You borrow money for a government project, let's say a road, and somehow in the middle of the road with the construction, you have no right of way, and then the road stops, but you are paying the interest.
But you are right. Now, that is why the president in the cabinet on Monday guided, we shall never borrow again. That was then. And we started this in 2022. We shall never borrow again unless we have the right of way. Secondly, we also agreed that now sometimes the money, let me give you an example of Jinja, Bukungu, Mburamuti, Kamuli, Jinja, Mburamuti, Kamuli, Bukungu. That road has not been worked on. Why? Because the money we are supposed to pay the people, the affected persons, call them PAPs, was almost more than what we wanted to use the road for the construction.
So was it inflated?
Of course, there is some
kind. The value is too high for such a land.
No, because of some kind of corruption, that is also understandable. But now, because even the size of the road, we are paying 50 meters from the middle, 50 meters this side, 50 meters this side. And sometimes we only use 20. So we have agreed that there, they call it buffer. That buffer, the buffer zone or the buffer.
Shouldn't be that big.
Yes, shouldn't be that big. Let us now. And in fact, when we reduce the size, we were supposed to use 200 billion. We're now going to use 96. And the road is good. And secondly, we have also agreed that we need to add this money to compensate people on the loan so that we do it once.
There are some projects.
That's why we have a problem of this Busega Mpiji. Busega Mpiji.
Sometimes, Honorable Prime Minister, money is allocated for a project. The project is not executed. Why? Lack of absorption capacity. Money is taken back to the consolidated fund. There are times when money is taken back to the consolidated fund.
Maybe that happens in districts. We still have capacity gaps in districts, but not in central government. That is true. We still have some capacity gaps in some districts. You give me one example of a project that stalled.
I remember the project took forever was the building of the tourism training hotel in Jinja. Yes, it's now almost under completion, but money was on account for almost 8 years and nothing was being done.
I think that was then before I came.
True, it is moving now. The issue of our relation with the United States, Ugandan, we've been having issues on some people even accessing. Remember, some individuals were targeted. I wonder how we are on our diplomatic front playing as a country.
We have no problem, apart from a few individuals, as you know. I have been to America. I was there 2 weeks ago. The bilateral relations between America and Uganda are okay. Except maybe you are talking about the withdrawal of some funding. Like you said, that money that was being used to treat our people with HIV and AIDS, I believe that's what you mean.
Yeah, that money, yeah.
It's not only here, it's across the world. It is not only here, it's across the world. That's the policy that the new president of America came up with. And the president...
Was it not always suicidal for a government like ours to let almost 90% or more of the money that is going to treat and, into the area of HIV and AIDS to be money coming from the Americans or from abroad? In other words, over 1.5 million Ugandans who are living with HIV.
1.4.
1.4 million living with HIV, you have outsourced the job of keeping them alive to somebody else.
For example, if they were giving us the money, and you see how we are struggling with the roads, really, would it be wise for us to refuse the money and we use ours? If it were you, what would you have done? Now that they are not there, we are going to survive. Fortunately, most of the drugs were being manufactured in the country, and our people are going to get the drugs. We have already done what they call suppression. Now that they have withdrawn their money, we shall squeeze, and that's why roads like what you are talking about will somehow delay, because life first.
Recently,
I chaired a meeting before I went to Kamunistan involving the Minister of Health, Minister of Presidency, Minister of Finance. We are going to cut here and here and make sure that our people survive. The fortunate thing is most of the drugs are manufactured in the country. That is where we have a plus. Quality chemicals.
On the issue of integrity, Right Honourable Prime Minister, the President recently is on record having said that, in fact, people around him were even getting commissions to take people to meet him. They would pay money, and actually said the system is dead. And he was very bitter. If it has reached that level, one wonders, what is it like far away from the fountain of honor?
I like the way the president is open. And that's why he has put in place a number of measures to fight corruption. We are lucky to have that man. He's as open as that. And for me, I like his openness. He will call a spade a spade. Otherwise, other people will cover up. Maybe the other presidents you will not even hear. The fact is he has disciplined some of those people using the disciplinary channels that are in place. He has put in place the office of the IG. Here we have the anti-corruption unit, the anti-corruption court. We have the Auditor General. We have the internal auditors. And I think that's why some of these things keep coming up. For you see them because somebody has discovered them. Because they can easily cover up. So for me, I just give him a plus. And it is because of that that we have been able, by the way, to fight corruption to some level. It's not easy because all of us, you and me, have to do the same. Our parents, the way our children grow in our villages, and many other things. The churches also have to come in. Everybody has to come in. It's a battle. We all need to fight.
Before I came here, I met a parent who takes a child to a government-aided secondary school. And the question they have is that, why do they have to pay, in some cases, more money in a government school, in a government boarding school? Sometimes they pay more than a purely private school.
We have USE schools, those that are supported. Remember, we have universal secondary education.
Yes.
We also have universal primary school. The schools, some of those schools are government aided, some are not. So the government aided schools that are not
USEs.
Yes, those pay.
Yes, so, well, if there's a hand of government in paying the teachers, in buying the books in the library and the labs, why would such a school ask parents to pay more than a purely private school?
That's why our mother, Mama Janet Museveni, came up with a policy to regulate that. To regulate even private schools, we have to give them a ceiling. Say, please, this is where you are supposed to stop. It's coming soon in Parliament. And I believe Once we pass it, we shall have to stop these people from charging our parents exorbitantly.
So you're getting into the election very soon, and as we come to conclude, what are your chances? Are you going in so buoyant that this time around you'll once again win it? For you as an individual and NRM as a party?
NRM is destined to win. The big numbers.
Will it be free and fair?
As usual. It has always been free and fair.
When you talk as usual, remember November 2020 when over 100 people were shot dead on the streets of Kampala.
But you talk about the 100 people, you also talk about what they did. Do you remember when they were stoning police officers?
Then you execute them on the street?
No. Do you remember? Because we also have to look at the other side. You know, you're bringing so many questions. Before I answer this, you bring another one. You also have to look at the other side of the coin. A police officer being stripped. A younger woman who was because she was putting on yellow like what you see here. Remember? Do you remember a car that overturned because of stoning? The officers or the security officers may have acted beyond in order to quell what was happening. But Ugandans also have to know that you cannot fight somebody with a gun. You stone somebody with a gun. There's some kind of limitations that need to be.
Honorable Prime Minister, I want to thank you so much for the time you've given us. If I may ask, what's going to be your concluding remarks to the people of Uganda?
I want to request the people of Uganda, one, to support NRM. Support His Excellency the President because he's already tested. For me, I have worked with him for now close to 5 years. With Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in the chair, Uganda will be a developed country in the near future. He has been the chair and is still the chair of non-allied movement. For me, I represent him in some forums. After speaking, and you tell them this speech is from Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, you see people following you to get a copy. That's how people look at our president. He has earned himself that kind of stature across the world. And so we are lucky to have him. For me, I only pray to God that he keeps him alive. To the people of Kakumiro, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the support you have always given me, the support you gave me recently. You know, today, NRM was, I think we have been in for councillors of the sub-county, chairpersons. I believe I have not had chance to even make a call to know who they have elected today to get our flag. But we want to thank you. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the NRM people for the support they have always given our president. And I want to, by the way, inform the country, NRM is strong. And that's why you have not seen any NRM member cross to the other side, to the opposition. But we have been able to get a number. I believe you are aware.
Yes.
So, with those words, I want once again to thank the viewers for your time. May God bless you all.
Right Honorable Prime Minister Robinah Nabbanja, thank you so much for the time you've given us, and we thank you for your submission. Yes, you've been phenomenal, and the 5 years have been quite a ride. We're going to be watching as you move on. And for those of you who have been watching, I also want to thank you for the privilege of your company. Good night and God bless Uganda.